Welcome to another episode of the Caribbean Edge. My name is Dawn Wilson. I'm your host this evening, and I have a beautiful panel of women that are going to explain to us what they want in a relationship. So the mystery for men continues. What do women really want? It doesn't matter if you're single, married, this episode is for you. So let me welcome my panel and the viewers. Please share so everyone can find out what women want today. So we're going to start out with Dr. Z. Welcome again, Dr. Z. Nice to have you.
Nice to be here. Thank you, Dawn, for inviting me again.
You're so welcome. So tell us something fun about you. And are you single, entangled?
Wow, I am definitely single and enjoying every bit of it. But I definitely know when it's time to have a partner, and it's time. Some of the fun things I like to do is travel. But to be in a simple, simplistic way, I kind of like definitely single and anytime. Some of the fun things I like to do is travel. But in a simple, simplistic way, I definitely single and anytime.
Getting some feedback there.
Travel. But
let's see if that clears up. Not sure what that echoing is going on. And we also welcome Nikita to the panel today. Tell us about you, Nikita. Are you single? What do you like for fun?
Yes, I am very single. For fun, I play pool, I play chess. I love to do things that are new. I find that these days I'm more like I'm a freelancer. So I'm just tell me where you want to go and we will just go type of person. And yeah, that's it for now until further notice.
I think that's fun though, freelancing, yeah? Just go where you want to go. I think that's one of the beauties of being single.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. And Fran, tell us about you. Welcome back to TCE. And what do you like to do for fun?
What do I like to do for fun? Well, it has been from my early days until now. I love to dance. So for me, anyone I'm involved with has to know how to dance. It's a deal breaker if you can't dance. I'm sorry. I don't care how great he is. If he cannot dance, it's not happening.
So are you single?
Single and loving it.
Single and loving it.
Married side, and I'm now back to being single, and I'm loving it.
Awesome. So we're gonna find out what women want tonight. How about you, Natalie? Single, and what do you like for fun?
So, I actually like to sing and dance for fun. Yeah, it's not a total deal breaker if you can't do any of them, but if you join me in the foolishness, we're good. Join me in the foolishness and you're good.
I love that. I love it. So, when we came up with this concept for the show, and just so the viewers know, there will be a male version of this show come December 2nd. We want to know what men want. What do they really want? So we want to do the women and then, of course, have the men's version of it. So who wants to tell us first what you want? What are you looking for? And has it changed in different stages of your life as well?
Okay, go ahead. Well, for me, what I'm looking for is consistency and truth. You know, I think I have received a lot of the other things that I've been looking for in small dosages, but where it has to do with being consistent and being truthful in regards to your feelings, truthful in regards to where you see us going, and truthful in regards to the person that you are on the inside. That is exactly what it is. Because everyone knows that, you know, you want to come with someone who you can trust. You want someone who will be there for you and all of that. I think that is something that once you're in a relationship, it's a must. But you know,
Okay.
consistency goes up and down, and you know, all of that.
What about truthfulness in finances?
In all regards, just be honest, like complete honesty. If you don't have it, say you don't have it, and then we'll find a way to make it happen. You know, because
Yeah.
women are people. We are human beings. We're just like men. We know when to, you know, push, and we know when to, you know, calm ourselves down, as Jamaicans would say. Yeah, so you just need to just let us know what the truth is, and we will be able to assist. If it is our desire to push with you, then I believe as women, we are just natural pushers. So we will
Yes.
push with you once it requires that.
Okay. And Dr. Z, how about you?
Well, to tell the truth, in different phases of my life, there were different things that I was looking for. And I guess, you know, in my teenage years, you know, you're looking for someone that is attractive to the eye. You know, you're exercising, as your feminine energy, you're working it out, trying to figure out, you know, what is your feminine energy, how to use it basically. Some of it you learn from your parents. From my mom, I learned a lot about feminine energy from my mom, and just seeing how that works. That's like teenage years. And then when you get into college, you know, that's a whole different um you're looking for somebody that could be a future somebody in your life. But you know you're both going down this journey and you're trying to build yourself up. So we're in building mode. So, you know, of course you need somebody who is thinking about their future and is having some kind of plan. You know, they're planning from then. Have confidence, of course. And for me, you know, being sheltered, I would say I was a little sheltered a little bit. Going off to college, you know, at Howard, I needed someone with that can create some security, security physically, and also to keep me stable because you know of not only the environment but also to stay on track with studying. So someone who had this basic same goals that was not going to sidetrack me or cause anything to happen that will make me sidetrack. We kind of have plans for the future and you know that kind of thing. And as I get into professional mode, you know, into the later this stage of my life, I'm actually looking for someone who not only have stability, but security and very honest, because you know a lot of history have been made. So the honesty is definitely important, and being able to communicate. So you know, usually you can't get anything out of certain guys if they don't know how to communicate. Oh, you never asked. So you know, it's I deal with you know men now a different way. My expectations are a little high because I expect that at this point their plan should be somewhere in fruition, if not in work, and you know they have some kind of security in physically, financially, and you know be stable enough that I can feel secure to say, okay, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with this person. Or not necessarily that. If it's just like a boyfriend, you know, just getting to meet somebody, you know, spending time, giving my energy, you know, that's very valuable to me. So just those are important to me as far as you know meeting someone and discerning whether I want to spend my time or energy in that space.
Okay, thank you. And hopefully for the viewers, welcome. Please put the little ones to bed because I don't know what's going to be said tonight. So make sure if you're tuning in, you're 21 or older. So I'm going to put that disclaimer out there because I have a bunch of single women and we're going deep tonight at some point. So let's see. So, Fran, tell us what your expectations are. What are you looking for as a woman? What do you want?
Well, you said it when you said the expectations change, you know, different stages of your life. because as someone who has been married before, have my kids at my age, I've achieved certain things already. So of course, I'm I'm not thinking about building. Someone, if I'm going to get involved with a man in my age group, he should have already built.
Mm-hmm.
So he should be at a stage where we are no. I've someone said it to me the other day. I'm half century, so I'm now at the top and I'm going over. So expectations are different. We're done building where our kids are. Well, I started late, so mine are still a little young for my age. But more than likely, his kids are grown out, married. He has grandkids. Most of my friends already have grandkids. I'm not there yet. So yeah, the expectations are a little different. But most importantly for me, um, emotional maturity is a must. And that's very rare to find these days, even with men my age. A lot of them don't even understand what it is to be emotionally mature, to have emotional integrity.
Mm.
So that makes it a little more difficult for me to connect with someone.
Yeah, I can connect with you on that emotional maturity. And I see the panel and the viewers are probably saying, uh-huh. So I'm going to
Yeah.
get to the comments in here because, yes, we struggle with that compatibility. Now, keep in mind, Fran, you said something about not building at this stage in your life. But remember, some men are rebuilding because they've gone through a divorce.
Right,
Some of them claim they've been cleaned out completely. So you may have to rebuild with them if they have everything else, the
But
connection, the
I would hope
maturity.
it would be a little different than starting when you're younger and you're just starting, because I had to rebuild also, and I'm still building actually. But I've had the experience, so it's not the same when I did it when I just started out in my 20s. I'm coming with the experience, so it moves a little faster. It's different,
But
but
you
I
know
get
what? I have a few friends, very few though, that have said they've walked away, like one of my cousins did as well. He left everything with his wife because he figured he could rebuild his life from scratch. And she's the mother of his kids as well. So when you meet someone, and that's probably rare, but when you meet someone in that situation too, and they have everything else, you have to probably respect him for that, or you have to decide if you would want to rebuild with somebody that gave everything away.
Mhm.
So just food for thought. How about you, Natalie? What are you looking for, young lady?
Emotional maturity is a must, as Fran said. Absolutely a must. Consistency with your pattern, your promises. As it relates to, you must and you should at this point in time, because I truly enjoy dating more mature. Mature does not necessarily mean older. Mature means wiser, more experienced. Um, that can help to keep me grounded because I'm a high creative and my head tends to go and come, go and come. And at this stage in my life, at rebuilding, because I'm rebuilding now, I've had to start from scratch again to bring myself to the place where I'd like to be. So the person that I'm looking for would obviously have to already have his foundation set. So he needs to be emotionally mature. He needs to be a man who believes in God. You don't have to be a Christian, but you have to be a man that believes in God. Yeah? Because if you don't believe in a spirit, in a being that's higher than you are, it means that you're dead to empathy. And I have no space for anybody like that in my life. And a man of family, integrity, and just honorable.
Yeah, thank you. And I connect that too because, at this stage in life and the way the world is going and everything else, you're at a lot of women are where, you're finding your faith even more. And if you have someone that's on the same journey, trying to find their fate or already there that can help you and teach you and support you, then it makes a difference. So walking together in that journey is certainly important. So viewers are already commenting. I'm seeing people on here that I haven't seen in a while. So good to see everyone. So thank you, Mish. Good night, Terrence. David Muir says you can't handle the truth. So I'm not sure what that's about. Let's see. And David says, so it's fair to say that women don't want a man without a plan. Yeah, David. Yeah, you need a plan. David said, so women also want stability and security. If a man's plan didn't work, they no longer qualify. I think that, no, it's not that the man plan didn't work, but I think we'd be happy that he's at least trying and he had a plan. Anyone disagrees with that? No, I think everyone wants someone that, you know. Charlton Chance is making jokes because he says, I have knives, swords, guns, and I know karate. Is that insecurity? I mean, his sense of humor. Not sure if he's single, but there you go, ladies. A man with a sense of humor, which is also important to a lot of women. So as we go through this, I will certainly check your comments, guys. Let's see if anything else. I like the need for emotional maturity and integrity. Hi, Trisha Chung. Okay, so I'll check back on the comments as we go along, but we're going to go deep because a friend of mine did not want to put this on Facebook. So she sent me this long text. But one of the things that she said women want is passion, sex, lust, tons of foreplay, quality time, getting to know each other after 5-10 years of marriage, so keeping the spice going, and to be told that she is beautiful were some of the things. So who wants to take on that comment?
Well, I was saying, I didn't know that we could go there because I actually wanted to say, when you asked me what I'm looking for, I wanted to say you have to be great in bed. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I didn't give you guys any rules. I want you to be honest. That's why I said put the children to bed.
This is nobody got an orgasm to waste.
Oh my God.
Can you repeat that one?
I said at this point in time, at this age and at this stage, ain't nobody got an orgasm to waste.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay. So
what I think a lot of time though, what sometimes women, because really I'm not a feminist, I'm more of a realist. A lot of time women want someone who is good in bed and who is passionate, but you have to realize that it takes time for a man to know your body versus a body that he had been used to before he knew you. So it will take time for him to know, okay, this is what she likes. She likes it slow. She likes it rough. She likes it like this. And then afterwards now, then you have to reciprocate. So you then have to know, does he like it? Think about it. Does he like it this way? Does he want it that way? When does he like it? Does he want it when he wakes up early in the morning or before he goes to bed? So we have to think about it in two ways and have a balance, because a lot of times we think about what we want and not think about, okay, what can I do to make him want me more?
Liza, should we tell her? Well, hon, I'm sorry. For me, it doesn't take any long time. I know my body. Remember, I'm not young. I know my body. And I'm ready to talk about it. That's why the man I'm with has to be emotionally mature, because he has to be willing to listen. A lot of men, if you start talking, they feel away, the ego get, if you maybe say, hey, this is what I like. I'm that person who, from we start dating, I'm having that conversation because I'm a dominant, but yet still I like a man that's dominant too. That would make me submit to him. So we have to have that conversation from the beginning. I find that when I bring that up, depending on how old-fashioned that man is, he receives that in different ways. I've
Mhm.
had men who think that because I bring up certain things, that means, oh, I'm ready to jump in the bedroom. No, I'm not. I just want to get this out of the way. I really want to know where you're at,
Right.
Mhm.
you know? So I know my body, and all he has to do is have a teachable spirit.
Mhm.
I think
Train him.
I think too it's about him paying attention because a lot of times guys they're so in their head about what they want to do next and so forth. So they're not
Mhm.
necessarily paying attention to how you're responding to certain things. That's how they're going to collect data and find out what it is that she likes. What is, if I was to say this kind of joke, how does she take it? So in the beginning stage of the relationship, he should be paying attention, listening more, like you were saying, and doing, trying new things and see what works and what doesn't. And it goes both ways too. It goes definitely goes both ways.
Oh, yeah.
So for guys, they usually are a little more challenged when it comes to paying attention, and it's not just paying attention to what we're saying, but our body language, paying attention to you know um, you know what we're saying as far as what we like and what we don't like. I mean, we could tell them, and if they're not paying attention, then they'd still come off with the wrong.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
I
it's
totally.
really paying attention and valuing the person that's in front of them. When you
Be.
have value, it's like a diamond. When you have value for a gem, you want to protect it. You want to make sure, you shine it up and you put it in that special place, you take care of it. So, once that person value you, it's automatic that they want to give you more attention. So, as women, we have to also feel out the men that are not necessarily the right one early in the game,
Mhm.
without giving off our energy to them or wasting our energy with other people, and just if it's not right, just be willing to say, you're a cool person, but I don't think this is gonna work, but we can try to be friends. I don't really like to keep, if they're not working at this point, I don't want to keep hanging on to them, but just to be polite, and find a
Mhm.
person that is compatible to you, that gives you that heat and fire within. It's just, some of these things are innate that it just happens on its own. But if it's not happening, if we're swimming upstream, then you're working too hard and maybe that's not the person.
Okay, so let me ask you this, ladies. When should a man expect, what is your waiting period, so to speak? Is there a waiting period
A waiting period for what?
Waiting for
to
what?
go to bed with him? Is there a waiting period for you?
I don't believe in manipulating the punani. I'm sorry. I find that this, 90 days, 30 days before you get into bed, it's women using their punani to manipulate a situation. And I can tell you this, a man will wait 2 years,
Yes,
Uh,
that
in
is
a go
true.
to
sleep
bed,
with you and leave you.
right? So at the end
Sleep
of the day,
with you
I work with the
and
energy
leave
that
you.
I see is
That's
there.
me. Mm-hmm.
Because
So for the non-Jamaicans watching, what Fran is saying, she doesn't believe in using the vagina to manipulate you because they won't know what punani is.
they know they
So
listen to
that
what
means that, so Fran, to make it, to clarify, there's no waiting period for you, correct? It just depends on
I work with
the
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 man.
energy.
energy.
Okay.
I work with the energy.
Okay, how about you, Natalie? Is there a waiting period?
Those were the days when I was young. And yeah, we all had that 3 months or 3 week. Well, for me, it would have been like 3 months. But then the older you get, you realize no, it is about the chemistry, it's about the energy, it's about the connection that you share with the person. And so, as Fran said, I go with the energy. It's really what you're vibing from the person. And guess what happened? It's either that when you get there and you get to that point, either it's good, it's mediocre, or it's really bad. Then from there, you make the decision. Is this someone that I want to continue having sex with? Is he trainable? Is it a case where he doesn't understand my body? Because a woman's body is very complex And men climax easy, and it takes a longer time for women to do that. And if the chemistry, because I've met a lot of women who are in their 50s who have told me they have never climaxed and they don't
That's
enjoy
crazy.
sex. And I think that's an abomination to the
It
body.
is.
I think that is an abomination.
It is.
How about you, Natalie? Is there a waiting
How?
period? I
You
mean,
mean
not Nikita. Is there a waiting period at all?
I don't know how to, and I would more agree with Francine in this matter, about the energies. Because a lot of times, because even when I think about it, if for instance you're waiting on, say, 3 months, and then everything else is perfect with this individual, and then after 3 months you guys go to bed and it's awful, what do you do?
exactly.
I mean, you could have learned about that from the first night and then save yourself the problem of waiting 3 months. But then now, after 3 months, you're attached to this person emotionally, but just the sex is just not good. So what do you do? So there's not a right or a wrong answer for this one. I would just agree with
Exactly.
Francine to say the energies have
Good,
to.
good. I'm getting tips. I'm making notes, and I can replay this as well as I learn from the panel. How about you, Dr. Z?
Well, there is a waiting period for me because I feel that I value myself. I mean, I don't want to give my energy to just any and everybody. So basically, um, if the guy is really interested in me, he will not have a problem with allowing the process. And I'm sure, knowing my energy, and if we're already talking 2, 3 weeks or even a month, I kind of already know his energy. It's almost like it's foreplay the whole time. We're building up to that point, and I like that kind of passion, that waiting, that building, because when it does happen, it's gonna explode. I'm an Aries, so I know my energy where it is. So it's really on the guy to make sure he levels up. And he's
Mm.
already seen that from day one, that, I what kind of know what I like and my energy level. If it's something that, he's gonna say, well, you seem like you're hard to satisfy and all of that. I would let him keep thinking that so that he can go work out and do all his push-ups and get himself ready. Get his vitamin in, and we continue to get more information about each other, because I think that when you don't wait a little bit to get more information, um it's not only about the sex, because there's always going to be other things that's also just as important. But if you don't wait, it's almost like you're sharing yourself, and you're creating like this emotional bond. And it's like you give away a part of you each time you speak with someone. So I feel like I'm very picky and choosy, so I'm a little selfish on that end. But it's for a reason. It actually makes it more valuable and makes the person who is really wanting to be with you, if they really want to, they'll stick the way. It might be 2 weeks, it might be 3 weeks, but there is definitely a little wait.
Thank you
Okay,
for
can I,
that.
can I, can I just make something clear? When I said I don't have a waiting period, it doesn't mean I jump into bed with every and anyone, because it
We
sounds,
know, Francine.
no, but I'm listening to her. She says, when a woman does this, and I realize that's something we've been taught. But
Yeah.
as I've matured, at 52 years old, I've learned that you have a time period stuck in your head. Sometimes you set yourself up for failure because that is a game.
Mm.
So of course the process is, because what the waiting period is not a specific time. But like she says, it's time if you are looking for a serious relationship. Of course you want to get to know the person. And it's in that getting to know. But what I've heard when I was younger, as Nat, Liza said, and I've heard younger women and people like, what's his name? What's that talk show host who was a comedian? He wrote the book Think Like a Lady, Act Like a Man, or something like that.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey. Let me tell you
Steve
something.
Harvey.
People like him, snake oil salesman. I'm sorry. What can he tell me about me and being a woman? And he's promoting wait the 90 days. And I'm like, BS. Because what you do, I've seen men do it. I have a lot of male friends. They will wait the 90 days to get what they want. They will be the perfect gentleman to get
Just
what
for
they
these
want.
days.
They will
Yeah.
feed you what you want to hear. And they will tell you that I love you and do whatever, go work out, take the vitamins, as she says. I've seen them do it. So what I'm working with is an energy. So as I get to know him, if it is that it's a raw energy and every time I go to him, I'm looking at him saying, boy, I wonder what he would be like. Then I deal with that and get it off my chest. But as we get to know each other, I'm not having a timeline in my head. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, because I really truly believe that you're setting yourself up. So it's not that you're going to jump off into bed initially.
Right.
And I don't think waiting makes it more special than not waiting. It's really up to the individual.
Yeah.
It's really up to the individual.
I like the dance. I like the
I love the dance, but the dance can look.
I like the
do
dance.
salsa, and after doing one very fast, I don't remember the name of that particular dance. You're hot and sweating. You're tired, unlike doing the merengue or the bossa nova, which is a lot
Salsa.
slower. So with each person, the dance is different. So that's why I say I go with an energy.
Mhm.
And I have a friend who met her husband. They slept together on the first night, was married within a week, and 20 years later, they're still married. The dance is different with each person. And again, move with the energy.
Yeah.
This is why you have to know yourself. And
But that is rare, isn't it, for you to meet so quickly, get married, and last forever? That's just like a one-off situation.
it's rare, but it
Yeah.
happens.
So, and here's my thoughts, because we're all so uniquely different, which is why this panel is amazing. So we hear you, Fran, your passion behind that, and I hear you, Dr. Z. I think viewers are going to connect with each of you for different reasons, because I'm certainly connected with you all for different reasons. And, I agree with Dr. Z. I don't think she's necessarily saying there's like a 3-month or a 6-month period, but a waiting period, meaning, you want to be courted, you want to get to know that person. Some of us are so emotional where we want to have somewhat of a safety, security feeling and that passion, and before you actually get into bed. While some women may say, I want to test it out first early and decide if I'm moving on, because that's really important to me. And if he's not good in bed, I'm gone. And that's fine too for some people. So
I totally agree. What usually gets me all passionate is the idea that the waiting is best. So I'm just saying, there is no good, better, best. Each person, like you pointed out, we're
right,
all
each person,
individual, and we all have different ideas. And that's why it's so important to know yourself, so you know what works for you. I will never try
Absolutely.
for someone else to do it the way I do it, because you're different, your ideals are different, what you want is different.
Yeah. And so Charlton Chance, the guy that was really funny, he says, I'm single like a dollar bill. And so for single women, just so you know, you can find Charlton on Facebook and check him out, see if he meets anyone's profile. Women want, David says, women want passion, sex, lust, tons of foreplay, and keeping the spice going. And Trisha, who's been married for quite some time now, she says, honesty and good communication skills are also important. Miss says, I'm liking passion, sex, and plenty of foreplay. Yes, in caps. So David has a question for you ladies. What qualifies as great in bed?
Exactly. I wonder that too.
Wow. So that's relative.
I was just going to say,
That is relative.
for different people.
So Natalie, what is great in bed for you?
Great in bed for me is attention to the details. Look at what I'm responding to, and look at what I'm not responding to. and being patient, because it's not about you. It's not trying to just bust a nut and go to sleep, you know. And I am that person that I will pretty much be upset with you the following morning if you have not completed your job, you know. And I will teach you, I will take it through. If it means that you need to drink Red Bull or have coffee, but we're gonna do this. It has to be done.
We're
I'm
gonna do
sorry.
this, guys. How about you, Nikita? What's great in bed?
I'm yet to think about that. I'm yet to think about that. That's true. I
Okay.
have to think about it.
Dr. Z, what's great in bed for you?
Okay, let me get started with that. So great in bed really takes two, because it is two people coming together, right? And of course, I expect the guy to be more of the the leader, and he's probably, already did a whole lot of foreplay. So once we've done that and we're in bed and all that is ready to get down, it's all about how he communicates with my body, how he touches me. That's really important. I like when a man has his hands all over me. Like, I don't want him to, I need to know that I'm with someone who's like really looking at my body and maybe giving compliments here and there. You don't have to do too much talking, touching, finding my erogenous zones, gathering data and getting work done at the same time. Because, this is something that is, especially as the first time, you definitely have to kind of figure out what are some of the things that I like, and some of which we probably already talked about over that waiting time. So we've built up this big, expectation of how great this is going to be. And I feel like, he should be more in tune as much as I am on the move, because it's like a rhythm. So everybody should be like in the rhythm. It's just like when we're dancing reggae. You can't have one person going left and the other person going right. There's a move that you kind of move together. So it takes really two to make that whole experience really great. And sometimes your input gives him more drive and more, what it is that you need. So you got to participate in your way. Um, as far as the guy, I want to make sure I like when they're making sure that I'm okay and I'm feeling good, paying attention, like someone has said earlier, paying attention, physical touch, communicating, nicely, not roughly. I like a mixture. So if they're mature enough, in that way, it will be good because we're both working to make it great. Yeah.
Wow. And Miss Fran, what's great in bed for you? Describe it.
A man that puts my pleasure before his own.
Mhm.
So let me lay it out for the men. Gentlemen, oral sex.
Mhm.
3 or 4 orgasms before you think you need to get your pleasure in. And that doesn't mean I'm a selfish lover, but I do believe from experience and from my male friends, the men that make sure that woman is satisfied before they decide to go out. Because let's be honest, once a man starts, the longest 5 minutes, he's done. We women take a lot longer. So don't you think
Yes,
it's
we
fair?
do.
He starts with, oh, sorry, let me speak properly. He deals with us first
Mm-hmm.
All
before.
right.
I agree.
I completely
Simple.
agree. Mm-hmm.
Simple. It's really not that complicated.
Take the time
But
to know
still,
the
that
body.
comes with all of that. Yes, he knows your body and all that. But the main thing for a man to be seen as a great lover by any woman, it's because he puts her pleasure before his own. And let me tell you, for the man that takes pleasure in giving pleasure, he's a dangerous man.
He's dangerous. Oh, wow. And women
Yes.
like danger, right? Women like danger. So,
Yes.
well, some women like
But
danger.
unfortunately, he's the man that usually have multiple women because other women in his past don't really want to let go because they rarely meet a man that does that. So even if he tells them that he had 6 other women, they're like, look, I just need one night.
Wow. Okay. So Georgia Blackwood says she's with Fran, that communication is
Georgia.
relevant.
Yeah.
And
That's my
David
sister.
says women want men with a teachable spirit. And Michelle agrees that teachable spirit. So Susan Reed says most men are conservative, like the woman, to be the free, but they need to be tuned into what the woman also likes. Really interesting. So do you agree with that, ladies? That men are conservative and
no.
like the woman to be the freak?
Usually that's the case.
Because
Usually that's what they do.
No.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so that's an unusual point, but very interesting. So except David said yes, do not manipulate the punani. So translation, the vagina, and the guys are agreeing. Mish McLean says she likes the answer going with the energy. So Georgia Blackwood says precisely. So a man sleeps with a female same day meeting and ends up marrying her. Okay. All right. So let's skip to one of the questions I had, which is, would you pursue a man, or do you prefer the man to pursue you? Going back to what women want, do you prefer the man that's pursuing you?
I will pursue because I know what I want, and once I see it, I'll go for it.
I've done both. I actually do like being chased. Maybe the era we're from, Don, we so believe that men are, what's the word? The predators, the hunters. So a lot of times I am doing the pursuing, but I am not the aggressive one. What I do is I open the door and I make sure he knows the door is open. Come on in.
I see you opening the door, Francine. She's just using her feet and just saying, all right, let me catch it. All right.
You know, I make sure he makes eye contact and then I walk off and I look behind me so he knows, come on.
Yeah, women have their signals, their clues to say you're interested. I do find though, and I don't know if it's just me, you guys can, let me know, but I find that the older I've gotten and the busier I've gotten, I have less time to probably people are flirting with me and I don't even know it. So, and with COVID-19, it's definitely, I don't know it. And also, and we had this little conversation before we went live, which is, you're in the same circles all the time. And if you're from the Caribbean and you're with the same people, sometimes you get tricked and sometimes you don't. But men are also involved with other women. And I know, me personally, if I know you've been with certain women in the Caribbean, I'll never, ever date you. And so I think, and that's one of the questions I have for you ladies, would you date outside your culture? Are you open to that, outside your race? Because that also may present some challenges with culture and growth and differences, even though so many people are drawn to the culture. And, also would you date younger? So let's talk about culture and if you would date outside your race.
Oh God, I've done it all, Don.
I have done it.
I've done it all. I've dated all races. My ex-husband was 10 years younger than I am. Maybe because I'm a free spirit, I go with the energy wherever I'm led. Once the connection is there, the chemistry, once I feel that the communication is there, I'm open to it.
So 10 years younger, when we know women mature faster than men, and even men within your same age group, are probably not on the same maturity level. Some are, not knocking men at all. How did you find that dating someone younger? Because there's a lot of benefits to dating younger
I
too.
tend to attract younger men. I don't know why. Well, I'm young in spirit. Liza can tell you. I don't act my age. I'm young in spirit. I'm crazy. Liza and I have had some crazy, um,
Let's talk.
we've done some crazy stuff. And I mean, a lot of my friends would think I'm crazy. I'm always trying new things. I'm adventurous. So I usually find men my age to be a little boring. You know, they don't want to do this. They don't want, I'm very adventurous. I'm very spontaneous. And so I think that's why I attract younger men, especially when I'm between 30s and 40s, because I find that usually when the guys, well, in my experience, the men in their 30s to 40s, mid 30s to 40s, if they're looking for something deeper, they tend to go for older women because they think they bring that, the maturity, and because they find the women their age group or younger, the word I keep hearing is flighty. So that's the stage when I found that I was attracting a lot of younger men. And because I think differently, I'm not caged. I'm very open minded, the way I reason. So that was what created the connection with a lot of them. You know, I'm not stuck in the box. I love to dance, all of that stuff. So
So was it a trade-off though? Was it a trade-off between the fun and the happiness that you get from a younger man? And were you trading off for that emotional security, that financial security that women want? What was your experience?
to be honest, the only thing that was missing, I find missing with dating younger men is the financial aspect of it. But then I was financially secure, so I wasn't looking for a man to take care of me. So I was
Okay.
fine. So I just enjoyed. I enjoyed. For me, I'm experiencing. I'm always telling them we're experiencing each other. You know, so let's have that experience and see where it takes us.
Okay, so for older men that may be listening, and I shouldn't say older, more mature, one of the things women may be looking for is that sense of adventure that you had when you were young. So that's one nice tip that I think men can adjust to. Because a lot of independent women want to travel, want to have fun. They don't want someone bored. And if we meet you and you're exciting, then don't fall back into that boring thing. You need to like keep it going on a regular basis. Because if not, you're going to get left behind. So, anyone else want to talk about that dating outside your culture or age range?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like to say that I like to be chased. And I think I mentioned that earlier. And I kind of think that that gives me a chance to see the quality man that is chasing me. Now, it's not that I'm going to have him chasing me forever, but just the fact that he made the first move, I might already have it in my mind like this guy is cute. We're probably already, exchange some eyes and all of that, and see him, checking me out. But the fact that he made the move, that lets me know that he has confidence, and that's very important for me. Someone who's very confident, very confident in their skin, and is able to communicate, come up, and everybody has butterflies when you're walking up to someone you don't know. You don't know what the outcome is going to be, if you're going to get a no or a yes. But I think that or a strong. I need a man that has great confidence, is very positive, and is expecting a positive answer. So he'll come with confidence and say, hi, I was just, all that. I like all of that. I don't want to be the one making the first move, because guys can pick and choose and refuse all the time. So if he actually picks you, it must be something that he saw in you. And if you actually feel the same way, then you can, pick up from there. As far as like whether you're young or old, that's also part of the chase. If you're too old to chase me, then you're not the one. So, you got to have some energy, some vitality where you're not feeling like you're too tired or you can't. Or if you're just so into yourself with a lot of ego and you feel like, that's not you, then, someone with high ego like that may not be the perfect person for me. So it kind of helps to eliminate the kind of person that I wouldn't want to date. And usually the younger, because I've had people tell me I look very young for my age and, so forth. So I have attracted younger and older. Growing up, I noticed a lot of older guys were attracted to me. I don't know why. I don't have no idea. But um, young or old, it doesn't matter. It's just really how you approach me. If you have that confidence. And it's maybe something about like my dad. He's a very confident person. When he walks in the room, everybody knows. And like I kind of get some of that what I like from probably my dad and the kind of person he is, and maybe something there as you learn, you grow up and you see the male in your family and how they are. Most of the male in my family are athletic. They used to have, they still try to have, great bodies and take care of themselves and very confident and positive. So that's something that I look for in a guy. And outside of the race or inside of the race, I have dated outside and inside of different cultures. What I do know is that I was just talking to my brother about this because he's like, usually those African guys are always, you're always with a, chase. He thinks I was chasing them, but in any case, it was them chasing me. African men, they're very confident and they will just come right at you and tell, what they want, what they're going to do. I like that. And maybe that's why I've dated a lot of people from the continent, different, men from the continent, even Jamaicans are very confident. The problem with the Jamaicans that I know is that, once they hear you're from Jamaica or, oh, you're from Mandeville, I know Mandeville woman, they stop trying to learn who you are. They just put you in this little basket like, yeah, she's she's gonna cook, she's gonna do this, that. But guess what? I am Zudian. So you have to spend time to get to know me. You might be true about you're gonna get all this extra stuff, but I like when you pay attention and try to get to know me. And if a Jamaican man was to approach me and come off like that, I probably would have been married already. Because I'd rather be with a Jamaican who, we can talk about our past and share, we understand the culture and so forth. The closest is African, we kind of have similar cultures. I've dated, like outside of religion, and that is something you have to be very careful about because you think that the religion thing is not a big deal, but when it comes to the family, it is a big deal. Are you going to become Muslim? I'm like, what? I'm Jamaican. I mean, I'm Christian. There, the guy was okay with me being a Christian, but the family wasn't, and it can create a lot of rifts. So it's one of those things, but I like the fact that I don't have boundaries in the kind of guy that I would date in reference to whether it's age or religion or wherever. It's just that the basic stuff that I need is the strength, stability, confidence, great in bed, respect definitely, and compassionate and love to touch. I like someone who's very hands-on.
Thank you. And I'm sure a lot of viewers can relate to that. Just having a man with confidence is like you're probably halfway there because confidence just brings off a whole lot of other stuff. I don't know about you ladies. Sometimes some men, they're not even attractive, but they have confidence and they come up to you. And some of the guys that are confident won't come up to you that are attractive that you'd like to approach you. Don't come up like we say, why the ugly man them approach you? And their good looking friend doesn't come up to you. So men, confidence is key. And you need to have that confidence to approach women. And I agree with you, Zudian. I just love men that take care of themselves.
But I do agree with Francine, like say for instance, that cute guy in the corner and he might be thinking, oh my God, she might be, somebody big and they don't want to come up to you. I would create space where it is approachable. Remain approachable, and so they feel comfortable, coming to me. Not because guys, they have it hard. They gotta get all those no's, and they gotta bring
Yeah.
themselves back again, or let me try again, that kind of thing. So I understand, but you have to. It's like a what do you call it? It's like a rite of passage. They have to go through it because once they've passed through that rite of passage, say, I actually went up to this girl, I said what I needed to say, and she's cool. He's gonna be like, oh my god, I passed the first test, and he's gonna savor that, and value that whole, I caught something that was valuable that I wanted. It's that same, chase thing, but you give them you got to make sure that they can move and make that move and say what they have to say, even if it looks awkward. Once they've gotten there and they realize it's not that hard after all, they're gonna savor that. It's not gonna be like you're just another chick that they're gonna collect their number. They're gonna start thinking, oh my God, she said yes, and try to do the right things to make the next move.
But are they
I
getting a lot
think
of no's because they're just approaching so many people waiting for one to say yes? Or are they picking out the ones they're really attracted to and approaching? It depends on the stage the man is in.
Yeah, it's
You've
true.
been out and you'll see one man. If you say no, he gone to the next one to see if she say yes.
and
How about you,
I think a lot
Nikki?
of times
Huh?
we misinterpret the notion of making the first move. Because as a woman, I'm sitting, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm at a restaurant or a party or wherever, and I make myself open to be approachable by a man, it means then that I have taken that first move. Whether or not he comes to me or I go to him, I have already made that move by giving the eye contact, the body language,
Exactly.
whatever it is. So I don't necessarily need him to come over to me to say, okay, he has confidence. He just needs to work with the moves that I'm giving him, the body language that I'm
Exactly.
speaking to him. And once he does that, then we're going to be comfortable within that space to then travel along and come together as one to have a discussion. We as women, we can't just sit and wait on this man to come as with him shining armor to come and rescue us and take us into paradise. If you see this man and you see as an armor and you like what you see that's in front of you, open up yourself to it and allow it to just come, and if it means that you have to put out that step and go and do it because you are the one who wants it. He probably doesn't even know what he wants, just like how sometimes we don't even know what we want, but then it comes to us and then we realize that yes, this is what I want, and then we continue to work on it because we figure out that this is gold. Because as when you're looking for gold, it's easy to see it, but then silver, you have to shine it off, you have to wash it, you have to rub it down, and then you'll figure out that this thing is valuable. So go at it. If you want it, go. If he says no, that's the only thing you can say, no.
That's right. Nikita,
Good
you're my
point.
girl.
Good
Listen, but I
point.
said it. That's why I said I opened the door. And listen, there's a song
That's the
that
first
talks
move.
about, it really, the man chases a woman until she catches him. Let's not fool ourselves. We are the ones that open the door. You ever watch those
Yeah,
old movies? The lady would walk and drop her handkerchief for the man to walk and say,
right.
oh, excuse me. He's giving him an opportunity to approach her. And we do the same thing now. I was a dating coach when I was in college, and I learned some techniques. There are different things we can do to get the conversation going. But now, if he ignores the seeds you're dropping, and that's different. You leave it alone. But you get the
Yeah.
you are actually making the first move for him
How
to
about
step
you, Natalie?
and do what he has to do, and then you leave him to, all right, see, I open the door. Are you gonna come or not? Yeah.
Let's
Right.
roll with
Yeah.
Natalie. Natalie, what's your view on that? Dating
I'm
younger,
actually,
older?
I I've never really dated younger. I think the youngest I've ever dated is probably 3 years younger than myself. Dated older, and I think that I don't want to make a generalized statement. So So let me boil it down to my experience, right? There are some older men who just really have not matured. They've just added a number to their age. And then there are some older men who have really taken time out to self-evaluate and how it is that they approach you. I like the chase. I am not going to pursue you because if you're leaving me to pursue you, sweetheart, I will rather hug up a mango tree and stay single than to go run down your butt. I am not doing it and I will never do it. The men must hunt. You want meat? Go look for it. Yes?
Because you want the meat.
But
I am not.
actually,
However,
we're
yes,
not saying
baby.
that the men go to the hunt, because I'm saying I love the chase. I do believe that they should. But I am the one that I'm waving the feather to say, here I am.
And you
When I'm
know,
not
we
going
gave the feather to Idris, you remember?
and the deer stand up there, wagging its little white tail, like here I am. And then he
Yeah,
goes after it.
I will do that. I will
Yeah.
let you in. I will open the door and I will let you in. I will say, yeah, I want
Because
you
you're saying I'm
to.
available. I'm
But
here.
it's not that easy. Exactly. I mean, unless you're Idris. You remember when we. I
Oh,
won't bring it up here. I
okay.
did some
So
crazy stuff when
Fran,
Idris was here. We
so
won't go
Fran
into that.
Jr.
Guys.
has a question for you. He says, so Fran, very interesting. So oral sex for all of your 3 orgasms?
No. I'm just saying that oral sex is a must. There are different ways to make a woman orgasm. But for most women, because I've heard women that say they don't like it, but for most women, that's a surefire way if he knows what he's doing.
Okay, thank you. And Pat, thanks for tuning in. She says it's a two-way street. Sometimes I don't mind if they go before me, as I may not get there. So she's okay with that at times. Good point. All right, we'll read that one from Michelle. So Miss McLean says most guys only put their orgasms first prior to the woman. Hi everyone, Howard, thanks for joining us. So he says she's straight eight to the point of what she wants, not sure which one of you. And Mish has a question. How do you pursue a man? So I guess Nikita, you're open to pursuing a man. Let's go with you on that one.
No, I'm not saying if he doesn't want it, just run after him until he wants it. I'm not talking about he's running from you and you're using a rope to tie him. I'm saying for instance, if you're in a party and you're feeling this guy's energy and he's also feeling your energy, go to him and have a sit down and talk. That's what it is. Just have a conversation. Start with a conversation. I'm not saying to, get your boobs up and everything and go there and just make a fool of yourself. No. But if you see it and you want it, present yourself and go for it.
Okay. Go say hi. Go say hi.
Yeah.
Howard wants to know, ladies, and I think Fran answered part of this. I'll see if anyone else has an answer to this. But Howard says, what is the benefit for dating a younger man? And I know we said, the fun, the excitement, he's not in that boredom stage or settled stage. And so anything else from the panel, what benefits from dating a younger man?
They're
I guess a
trainable.
great body is one.
Yes. Younger men are teachable, I find.
Teachable?
Yeah. And they kind of look up to you because they know, especially if they know that you're older, they'll be hanging on to every word you're saying. They're more attentive. They're now trying to exercise being the man. So, they're going to do all the right things to impress you. And of course, they have a lot more longevity in bed too. It's another thing, especially if you're older. Especially in that age where you need more energy from a guy. The younger guys are usually that way.
Yeah, especially if you're a woman that takes care of herself, you're fit. And you meet men in the same age group, and I've said it before, men don't always keep up. If you got to keep up, you got to do your sports, go to the gym, go walk,
Yeah.
eat right to keep up with these women. Women need it. Clarissa says older men become boring quickly.
Yes.
So that seems to be a consensus on this panel.
I think they kind of like they give up on doing all the things that they used to do when they were younger, and just trying to get the bare bones, get what they can get,
Okay.
and not putting any umph in it.
Mish has a question. She says, do you feel like his mother dating younger?
I'm
No.
not gonna go that young.
Why would you want to date your son? I already have sons.
There's a cutoff to the age thing there. And David's asking what qualifies for older for the panel. So if each one can tell us what is older for you.
Oh, for me, because I'm that woman who takes care of my body. I believe in being physically fit, and so old for me. I don't do bellies. He needs, again, I'm adventurous, and I do. Why is Nikita laughing? No, I don't do bellies. I don't like a man with a belly. I don't personally. I've never dated a man that's overweight. Every man I've dated has been lean, muscular, tall. That's my personal preference. I like the athletic type. I am somewhat athletic, and just boring. I remember a man who was about 3 years older than me that was pursuing me, and we talked, and I said, we should. I don't remember what it was I was looking at, and I said we should do this. It was like going off to the North Coast or something, and his answer was, I've done all of that in my young days.
Yeah.
I don't have the time for that. No, I can't bother for that. I was like, huh?
Done that, been there, done that.
Yeah.
I've done
relate to that,
I want to do more. So that was it.
I've said that on the show, and my big belly friends get a little upset, but I love them as friends. But it's really not good in the bedroom because I don't know how you
It's good. A little belly is good.
too. So different strokes for different folks because I have friends that they've been married for a long time and they met their man with big belly and they're totally in love with the big belly man. So yeah,
there are women who like the men a bit pudgy. There are women who do. I just personally don't. I don't like, if we're, as you say, in the bedroom, I don't want him wheezing on me or getting out of breath. Or even if we go walking, as I said, I love dancing. When I go out dancing, from I enter the place and the music is good, I started dancing and I will not stop until that party is finished, especially an oldie session music from the 80s and 70s. Yeah, man. So I need that man that will keep up with me, that we do the crazy stuff together. And I find older men just tend to, nah.
Okay, so this is definitely a good episode for men of all ages to tune in to see what you like. And men, from what I'm getting here, you need to keep the energy going, the vibes, the workouts, the hygiene, everything going. And even if you're at a later stage in life and you've done it before, you're now with someone new and spontaneous, and you just need to do it all over again and bring back that excitement into the relationship. Anything else? Natalie, how are you doing there? What do you have to say about all this?
I do believe that the men just need to be consistent. It's not about you, it's about us. And at the end of the day, you need to understand that, listen, this who comes first game thing that you work with, it does not apply here. We both need to be equally satisfied. I'm a pleaser and I would like to meet a pleaser too. I want him to please me. So, I'm not upon that. I mean, but if it's me, I win. The gates are still open. Continue. But I came first and I won. But the gates are there. Continue, because I will not rob him of his nuts that he needs to release. you know. But at the end of the day, though, the truth is it's about chemistry, it's about connection. And I do believe that it should never be one person always enjoying themselves and the next person isn't. We both have to enjoy ourselves. What's the point? You know, what's the point? Sex was made for a reason. It was
Amen.
not meant for the man to stick me and not feel any pleasure coming from his needle. I need to be pleased. So, yeah, do what you gotta do, and I will cooperate with you. That's my thing.
Oh, I think happiness in the bedroom leads to a happiness outside the bedroom. That's a good way
Okay.
to put it for the men
But
watching.
Dawn,
So, yes.
Dawn, if I might add, and even though we're all different, I think this is something that goes for at least most women, maybe not all. And I want the men to get this. Learn to make love to her mind, and you will get her body.
Ah, yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Amen.
yes.
If a
Amen.
man cannot stimulate me
Mentally,
mentally, he's getting nowhere else on me. He has to stimulate me mentally.
Mm.
Good
Yes,
advice.
friend.
Good advice. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Clarissa says she noticed about 50 men lost a twinkle in their eye at some point. And Pat says, as an older bird, Pat, you're not that old, I'm looking for companionship and I remain open to outside my culture and comfort zone. So a lot of women are. Luke says, thanks for joining, Luke. Be careful. Some guys master the chase. However, they are just looking for another notch on his gun belt. LOL.
Yeah.
So they've mastered the chase, ladies.
Yep.
So you have to know what to look for. Thank you. And Luke, if you can tell us some of those tips from a guy, I'm sure the women watching would certainly appreciate those tips. So don't be selfish. Share it in the chat. Howard says, and I'm not sure, he said something about not all men do that. That is selfish. So Howard has a question for Nikita. He says, what is it that you think will make a man chase a woman?
What is it that will
Well,
make a man chase? It depends on the man and what he looks for and what he wants. I can't say what will allow Howard to chase me or to chase Zudian or Natalie or Francine, because he'll use a different technique for all of us. He'll appreciate different things from each and every one of us. So it depends on him and what he wants. And if he's looking for something that is short term, he'll search for someone who doesn't want something long term. So it just depends on what he wants, and then he will vibe from that energy.
Oh, thank you. So um, here's what Luke says. He says, not to your point, Nikita, but he says it's funny because when I see a good looking woman, the first thing that comes to my mind is she probably got tired of all those suckers making a move at her. As a result, I wouldn't bother. I'd rather find my footing with a woman based on natural connections if and when they arise. So there are a lot of good women out there that look beautiful and they don't get approached to because men have this concept. So what do you say to that? They won't approach good looking women.
well, a lot of it is could be lack of confidence, not wanting to get the nose. Um, Maybe they look good, but they're not giving off that feminine energy. There's a lot of, especially Black women. We are the boss chick. We got this. We got we got all the Versace and the Louis, and we're looking like top dollar. But our attitude and or that we're giving away or giving off can be repelling those guys that would approach, and they're not necessarily wanting to deal with somebody like that. So just exercising your feminine energy and not too much of the masculine part will probably help your attitude, how your behavior is. You can't dress up something that you don't have. And, you know, um, I think that's kind of, yeah.
Okay. So I know Natalie has to go soon. So Natalie, tell us what your thoughts are. What would you like men to know, women to know about, what women want? What do you want? We lost your volume.
Not hearing you.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I can't speak really to say what is it that women want, but I know what I want. And what I want, as I said earlier, is a consistency, maturity, emotional maturity. Because when you're not emotionally mature, you react to every single thing. And at this stage, I'm not trying to have a miserable person around me. I've been there and I'm on the journey of emotional maturity, spiritual intelligence. And so, one of the things we need to be cognizant of is the fact that our gods tell us in the first 5 minutes if this person is going to work for us. We know. I will say, if you know that it's gonna work, go with the flow. And if you know it's not gonna work, don't work with it. Because you know what happened? We're the same ones that is gonna go on social media and say men ain't this, men ain't that. When we already knew what our guts was telling us, but we tried to ignore it. So my thing is, we both need to get to a place where we understand that it is really and truly the chemistry, the energy, because energy is really what transports us to connect with another person. And for the men, if I'm not connecting with you, if my energy, and I'm very picky, so if my energy is not connecting with you, it's done, which is why dating for me is very minimal. I don't know how people do it. I'm too lazy to date. Yeah, I'm too lazy to be doing this bag of dating. Too many energies passing through. I just want to know I've connected with you and I will date you. And if it doesn't work, I'm gone. Simple as that. Pursue me, please me, and I will please you in return.
I think
There we go.
I
Kita?
think I think someone who respects the the right that you have a right to have feelings is essential, because a lot of times what men do is they do things, and then because you get upset over it, then they say you don't need to get upset over that, or they don't see why you react that way, you know and then you are led to think that, okay, probably I overreacted, when really and truly you probably reacted just as how anyone else would have reacted. But because he's the one who is now in the situation of being the bad person, then he's going to manipulate and be a narcissist about it. So I think when they start to realize that your feelings are essential and to respect the right to have those feelings, then I think it would create this environment where we can openly communicate with each other. I remember I had instances where I had issues with how things were dealt with where I was concerned. And I spoke about it because I'm a very outspoken person. So I spoke about it. And up to this day, the person can't even realize that what they did was wrong. But everyone else around them could say, listen, I understand, and it shouldn't have been that way, because the person didn't respect the right that I had to have a feeling, to have emotions. So a lot of times what they do is to neglect the fact that you're human. And they think that because we're women and we hold everything down and we hold everything in and we try to make a good face out of everything, then it prevents them from seeing us. And I think a lot of times it has to do with the mothers, believe it or not. The
Yes.
mothers don't train their sons to think about others. So what they do is, especially in Jamaica, I've seen it in Jamaica. What they do is they train their sons and their boys to think about themselves. So if you see a little boy traveling with his girlfriend's bag, then they call him a sister. You know, they jeer him and they said, "Me don't want you carrying a girl bag. Ray, no make no woman stand up over you. Ray." And so we become so
Yes.
emotionally detached from the females and from each other that we can't even have a
Connect.
space where we are able to connect with them. And it creates a lot of problems in the relationships. And I think that's why a lot of the relationships in Jamaica are going downward, because we're now focusing on the women pulling and pushing and fighting to hold things down when the men are just traveling along, and we make excuses for the boys and they make excuses for the men. And it's never going to change if we continue to be like that. Men also need to get up and wash the plate too, because when if you don't wash the plate, nobody else eats. But what we do is we wake the girls up and say, wash the plates because no one else is going to eat. And then you feed the little boy, and then you take up the little boy's plate, and then you tell the girl to go and wash it again. And that's what they do in relationships.
Good point. So, Dr. Z, what do you have to say in closing? What do you want as a woman?
Oh my God. Well, I definitely don't want a mother's boy. I don't. I want a man at this age. It's a man that respects his father, loves his mother, and have room for a partner. And she's right about how men are nurtured by their mom in a way where it becomes toxic, and then they can't have real relationships. It's almost like they're looking for another woman to replace their mother, and that's not me. So I definitely don't like the mother's boy, but I like, and I don't want I want a real king. I don't want a clown in a crown. So don't come with any pretense and your masks and so forth. And that's why I kind of need that little extra time for that mask to fall off, so I can know, who am I tying my energy with? Because I love deep. I'm Aries. I love deep. So when I get into it, I'm already moving forward. So I don't want to move forward with the wrong person, because I've learned the hard way in many ways. And you know, that learning process helped me to be able to discern, what it is that I want. And then it comes back to self-love. If you love yourself enough, then you would know when somebody's loving you.
Ah,
To have
yes.
level of self-love. And when someone sees you and they see that, oh my God, she loved herself in her space by herself, doing this and that, and you're not like somebody who's in need, and because they can use that lack to manipulate. So I make sure that I love myself as much as I can, so that the energy that I'm giving off would be compatible with the energy that's coming towards me. So what I want, I'll give you my list right now. He has to be a leader, pay attention to the details, pay attention to me, and everything around, my emotions, because we are women. We do, have different level of emotions than some men, so they should be able to understand where I am during the day. I could go through up and downs all through the day, but don't get mad just because, this moment I'm kind of having a little hard time. You should be able to balance out my energy, so that, things can move smoothly. Give me, I don't mind a guy that tells me no once in a while, kind of put me in a place if I'm wrong, not a yes, ma'am. I don't want the yes guy all the time, because I have a strong personality too. So I need someone who's able to say, Zudian, you should have done that. This is where you should have went about this, blah, blah, blah. I do respect that. And, they have to be able to communicate, like that, right? So communication is so important. Respect, trust. Once I get that respect and trust and all that is building up, there's no problem with me submitting. But if I can't get the trust and the respect, it's going to be really hard for a person like me to submit. Um,
Right.
and even in bed, to submit in bed too, it won't even work. So the affection needs to be there. Understanding, a man with wisdom is so sexy. I like a guy that, he might not know everything about what I know. I don't expect that. As a matter of fact, I'm not even looking for, yeah, I'm in a profession that I do all this. I don't even want somebody that does the same thing I do. I would like to hear something way different. He could be a carpenter. I don't care, as long as he's coming home and he loves what he's doing and he's sharing what he's doing and he's willing to listen to what I'm doing and how my day went and have wisdom, being able to, deal with certain situations the way won't get us all in trouble or dead. Because, you know, every time you meet people and you think they're one way and then a situation comes up and they blow up and they become like, this massacre guy, like, oh my God, you didn't have to blow up that much. It wasn't that bad. So someone who can control himself and positivity, confidence, strength, creating security so I could feel stable. And one last thing, but not least, I'm sure you ladies might have more to add to it. Um, Sticking to their word, that is so big for me. I mean, I need a man that stick to his word because that helps to build my trust. If you can't stick to your word, then I can't trust that you're going to get it done. And
Right.
that is so bad. I just don't like a guy. I mean, he could be all right, but just can't stick to your word. It just doesn't create a glue for me. And so I don't know if my list is too long, but I don't think it's that hard. I
No.
think if you have the right kind of man that um, was groomed properly and he's been working on himself, self development, he should have at least some of this stuff, and working on the others. Because I'm not perfect, and I have some of these things that I expect from somebody else, from him, and I'm working on more. So we're all a work in progress, but you have to be able to you know have something that you can work with. Yeah.
And before we get to Fran, I want to say I know there are a lot of comments I didn't get to on my panel. I invite you back to go back on the comments and respond to the viewers' questions. I know some of those questions are directed at me, and I'll answer you at some point. I just want to remind everyone that come December 2nd, we're doing What Do Men Want? So we can see the male perspective of this show. And I know women can talk forever. So very interesting. Who knows? We may do a combination of men and women together after the men's episode. So we're flexible. We'll do it at some point. So Fran, tell us, your summary of what do you want as a woman?
Well, as I said, number one is emotional maturity, which covers a lot of what the other ladies talked about. Because if he is secure in himself and understand that he's also an emotional being, because I don't know where this thing comes from that, women are emotional and men are not. I grew up a tomboy. Majority of my closest friends are men. I have mostly male friends. I actually don't connect with women that well. So like Eliza, I connect, she's one of my few female friends. And I can tell you men are emotional. And I know this because I've been told that I'm able to do something a lot of women don't do. Around me, they feel safe. So they feel safe enough to open up, to be themselves. And I won't throw it back at them. I won't look at them like they're weak. They're human beings. Men are human beings just like us. So the emotional maturity is very important, and emotional integrity. And of course in bed. But both Nikita and Doc brought up the thing. And as you know, Don, I do the Real Mafia Mom. As a single mom raising boys, Nikita, you're on point. And when I point this out to a lot of, especially single mothers, they get upset with me. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. We women who are complaining about the men, we are the ones that created them. And we really need to stop this. We want to see a difference. I cannot be raising sons and saying men are, you know what? Because what that means, that's how I feel about my sons, or am I going to try and do differently with them? The other thing is also, I think we're in a conundrum with women being so independent. Women are independent, especially Black women. I'm a strong Black woman, independent woman. I remember saying to someone that I don't want to be independent. Being independent is a lonely place to be, and I don't want to be there. We're all dependent on each other. So what's happened is that when they say they want a man, they talk about the financial security and all of that, which is a traditional role, but the woman doesn't want to play the traditional role. So you see the confusion? We have to make up our mind.
Yes.
If a woman wants the traditional role from the man, then she must be willing to be a traditional woman. And nothing is wrong with that. We're all different. We all have different wants.
Right.
So if I want to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, raising the kids, staying at home while he goes out and work, understand what that means. You see, we look back at our parents and our grandparents and we say, oh, look at that. They were married for years and they were so happy. And hell no. They rode out some rough times. If you talk to them and get the truth, it wasn't all roses and bowls of cherry. They stuck it out. We nowadays are not sticking it out, like myself.
Right.
I was 4 months pregnant with a 2-year-old when I said, bye, Felicia, because I was not doing that. My mother would have been the one willing to put up with that. I am not. So we really have to decide what we want. And we have to realize that we can't have it both ways. We can't want the traditional man who's going to pay all the bills and he's going to be a leader and he's going to be this. But then we want to also be a leader, and yeah, I don't know if you get where I'm going. The balance is not there. So for me, I know I'm a dominant. I know I am. I'm Scorpio. I know me. I'm free spirited. I live in the now. As you notice, I don't have lists. I don't have timelines. I work with the energy. If I'm feeling you, I want to get to know you, and I'll take the time to do that. When I was a dating coach, I had to teach men and women how to ask the right questions, because it's not that we're playing a game, but we all put our best foot forward in the beginning. We all show the best side of us in the beginning. We all put that mask on. And it's not that we're being dishonest or we're playing a game. It's biology. It's what we do. It's the dance, the mating call, the mating season. And that's why they say it takes up to 2 years to really get to know. If you notice, a lot of relationships end at the 2-year period because the mask come off. And when you're dealing with real issues, then you'll know the strength of the relationship of each person. So that's how I live my life. I take it one day at a time. I live in the now. As I said, life is an adventure. That's how I approach it. I've dated, the only thing I've not dated is someone overweight, but I've dated ugly, handsome, the Greek god, different races, different cultures. I just believe life is an adventure. Live it. I really don't know why I got married. I don't think I was a married type. And that's another thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Figure out who you are and what you want. If you're not the married type, don't let it. I think I was pressured into marriage. I really do. Even by my mom. She wanted her grandkids, and you're getting old. I got married at 36. You know, you're getting old and all of that. Just know yourself. At the end of the day, know yourself. And knowing yourself, you know what works for you. And in having the emotional maturity, you will give people time to express themselves. You will make them feel comfortable to be themselves, which will help you to know them more. And you will know if it's worth it. So.
Thank you for that, friend. And Camila Trapp from our viewer says, we just need to know our worth as women and then add triple tax. Be independent, but know when to fall back. Know when you're dealing with a real man. Hey, as long as the gentleman is progressive, ambitious, and have a little belly, he is workable. So, so we definitely went over tonight. Of course, we're talking to women about a very passionate subject, and I love seeing all the comments. I promise you, I will go in and read them and respond to them. But join us on December 2nd. Nikita has something for the men's version of this, and who knows, we may do a combination of men and women. Go ahead, Nikita.
I just want to reiterate the point that women are not asking for perfection. None of us here said what we're looking for man is perfection. So men don't get it wrong. We're not looking for a list with all these things that you have to do. What we're basically looking for is someone who is willing to ride with us and to ride for us. That's what it really boils down to. And as women, I mean, this platform, I never thought that, this platform would have been so impacting for me, but it often likened me to my group, my support group, because I've just been out of a relationship. I was really going downhill, but I had a support group, and this is kind of a support group that I have at home. I know you like Natisia and all my friends, like they had, rallied around, and this is what we do. We sit and we discuss issues. So it's not something that we should roll away from. Don't dismiss it. Don't go into isolation. Get your support group. If it is that your support group is Caribbean Edge, listen, tune in, and there are lots of things that are happening to you on the inside that you wouldn't even know about, but someone says it, and then you can look into yourself and say, that's what it is. Get into it, speak about it, be open, because women are now speaking up. And that is something that men are just getting used to. So as women, we have to kind of, help them a bit and be patient with them. So we're not asking for perfection. We're just asking for you to just ride with us, be patient with us. Don't just love the good, but love the good with the bad, because the bad is something that can be worked on.
Thank you. And thank you for that. Certainly, I agree with you 200%. This platform, the Caribbean Edge, has certainly broadened us. I've met so many people through the Caribbean Edge, beautiful ladies like yourself with voices, beautiful voices, as we continue to educate, inspire, and get to know each other and connect throughout the world. So thanks for tuning into the Caribbean Edge, and we can't thank the viewers enough for being the best part of the Caribbean Edge. Have a phenomenal week. One love.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, ladies. Thank you.